great team, back at it again. Welcome to episode 112. Thank you for people watching me for the first time. Hope you like the video. Go back and watch my other videos. Maybe find something you like. Thank you to those who's been watching me since the beginning. Appreciate you guys for sticking around, watching my video, liking my video, and commenting all that good stuff. Appreciate it. Halloween is right around the corner. I guess October is so-called the scary month or whatever, but I want to do a video on horror movies that I liked. I'm not one that's into like super scary movies because I don't really get scared at movies. But if a horror movie has like a story and like interesting stuff to talk about in it, those are the type of movies I like. So these are some of my favorite horror movies. It might not be the type of list that everybody else puts on there. Like ain't no Michael Myers on this list, ain't no Jason on this list. But these are some great horror movies that I actually like, the type of movies that I enjoy watching. So let's start early. I'm going to start with 1982's Poltergeist. I always enjoyed this movie. As a little kid, it came out in 1982. I was born in 1980, so I watched it when I was a little bit older. But it was super scary. Starring Craig T. Nelson, who's been in so many shows. He's usually known as a comedic actor. And the little girl, Heather O'Rourke, who actually died, which is crazy. She died some years later after filming the Poltergeist movies. But this is one of my favorite horror movies because the story is good. The acting is good by the kid actors. I'm not a big fan of kid actors, but she was real good, and the other family members were good too. I like the fact that the ghost came out of the TV. Sometimes they would talk through the TV and talk to her through the TV. That was super scary to me as a kid, that something like that would happen. And then you find out their house was built over a grave site or whatever, which is why the Poltergeist was trying to get to her. I just like the whole concept of that movie, even as a little kid, and watching it now, it still holds up a little bit. It's not that bad. I know they did a bunch of remakes, and there's been like 4 other movies after that. But definitely one of my favorite movies, the original Poltergeist. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely check it out. I'm pretty sure you can find it on Hulu or Netflix or something like that, especially when October comes around, whatever. So definitely check out Poltergeist. Definitely one of my favorite horror movies. The next movie I'm going to talk about, 1992's Candyman. Tony Todd was a terror in my dreams. First of all, Candyman was so scary to me because it was filmed in Chicago. The Cabrini Green projects aren't there anymore. I'm from Chicago, so I'm thinking, this motherfucker can come get me at the time when this movie came out or whatever. Like I said, Tony Todd was horrifying to me, even as an adult. Like when he shows up in movies or whatever, I'm like, this motherfucker is still scary to me. I remember he was in Final Destination. I was like, oh shit. He's been in a bunch of movies. I'm not a fan of the new Candyman. I think the new Candyman is terrible. But the original Candyman with Tony Todd, filmed in Chicago, based in Chicago, whatever, excellent movie. I thought it was super scary. I thought he was very intimidating. He was a great character. And you don't really see many black scary horror movie characters or whatever. So I think he was like probably one of the first, in my opinion. At least one of the first that I remember. So definitely check out the original Candyman, the first one. Definitely a good horror movie if you like horror movies and you like seeing scary figures like Tony Todd. The next movie that I'm going to talk about is A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. Johnny Depp, Robert Englund. That movie gave me so many nightmares when I was a kid. The first Nightmare on Elm Street. I know there was like 7 of them. I actually liked the Nightmare on Elm Street series, but I thought the first and the second one were close to being like real horror movies. It was less comedic because as you went further in the movies, they made Freddy more funny and doing gags and stuff like that. But the first 2, in my opinions, were the best one because Robert Englund was like 6'3" or something. He was very big and tall and menacing and whatever. Super scary. And then as a little kid to think of somebody coming in your dreams to kill you, that was terrifying. That was my whole childhood. I was terrified of those movies, but I couldn't stay away from them because I loved them. The original Nightmare on Elm Street definitely, and Johnny Depp is in it. Johnny Depp, I think that was one of his first roles. Great movie. The acting's all right. Like I said, Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger was fantastic. Like I didn't like the newer version with the little dude from the little redhead dude from what's his name? I can't remember his name. Anyway, I didn't like the newer version that came out a couple years ago, but the 1984 version, fantastic movie. Definitely watch that. Maybe it'll scare your kids, younger kids who haven't seen them, or whatever. The next movie that I'm going to talk about is Jeepers Creepers. This movie came out of nowhere, starring Justin Long, 2001. I went to the movie theaters not knowing what it was, and I love the whole concept of the movie. The dude that killed the people was like terrifying. He was a big monster looking dude. They didn't show the thing that they did good about the movie. They didn't show him a lot. He wasn't in the movie a lot, but he was always lurking or whatever. And that big ass van that he drove was fucking crazy. And then when you saw his lair where he had the people's eyes and body parts, that was crazy. And the one thing I loved about this movie was at the end, the bad guy actually win. They actually, no spoilers, this movie's over 20 years old. They actually got Justin Long and took his eyes out. They ended up getting, the Jeepers Creeper dude ended up getting Justin Long and taking his eyes because that's what he wanted. He wanted his eyes. Good movie, great concept. They made a couple more after that. Not as good as the first one, but the first Jeepers Creepers is definitely a movie that you should watch if you haven't seen it. Totally recommend it. Like I always say, you can probably find it on Hulu or Netflix or one of those streaming networks. Definitely easy to find. The next movie that I'm going to talk about is 2004's Dawn of the Dead. One of my favorite zombie movies. I'm a big fan of zombie. I watched The Walking Dead when it came out. I watched all those zombie movies. But this is one of my favorite zombie movies because I saw this in the movie theater, and like the first 5 minutes when the little girl kills the main girl's husband, I was like, that came out of the blue, out of nowhere. I was not expecting that. It was so violent, so much blood, and I like that. Starring Ving Rhames, Mekhi Phifer, Jake Weber, who's been in a lot of shit, and I forget the girl's name, but Ving Rhames was good in this movie. He was, he started off being a dick, but while going through the movie, he ends up being a likable character. I didn't like Mekhi Phifer's character because his girl was literally giving birth to a zombie baby, and he fought to save her or whatever. He ended up dying in the movie though. But the movie is fantastic. I love everything that happened in it. I love the way the movie was going. And in this movie, the bad guy wins too, because they thought they got away. They get on this boat, and they get to the island, and they get killed at the end with cut footage at the end of the movie. So I love the movie. I was not expecting that ending, and I loved everything about the movie. The movie, it showed the up and downs and how a lot of people died when they was trying to get to the boat, and how they ended up leaving the mall. I would have stayed in the mall personally because they had food and everything in there. They had everything, and it was locked up. So I didn't understand why they wanted to leave so bad. They could have just stayed holed up until they got help. But Dawn of the Dead, 2004, fantastic movie. Definitely go see that. The next movie I love, A Quiet Place. This is one of the movies that I didn't know what to expect. I saw it. It came out in 2018. I saw it in the movie theater, starring John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. I like both of those people. That's why I went to see it. But I was not expecting the things to happen that happened. Like the first 10 minutes of the movie, their youngest son gets killed by one of the creatures or whatever. And I totally wasn't expecting it. It came out of the blue because usually in movies they don't kill little kids. And so that came out of the blue. And then just the idea of having to stay quiet, not being able to talk, that these monsters are attracted to noise. It was such a good concept. They came out with 2 other movies after that. Quiet Place 2 was all right. Quiet Place 3, in my opinion, was not good, but whatever. It made a lot of money still. But the original Quiet Place, fantastic movie. The acting was good. The kid acting was good too. Totally recommend it. You can definitely find this on a bunch of streaming networks. I watch it. I like the first one, so I watch it regularly when I have anything else to watch. And the last movie I want to talk about is Black Phone. I saw this in 2001. I just went to the movie. That was nothing out. Starring Ethan Hawke. Fantastic movie. Oh my! I love Ethan Hawke. He's one of my favorite actors. But this movie caught me off guard. The whole concept of somebody kidnapping kids and they being trapped in the basement, and it was just a great movie. If you haven't seen this, definitely go see it. I think it's on. I think it's on Paramount right now, if I'm not mistaken. One of those networks. I know I saw it recently on one of those streaming networks. Definitely watch The Black Phone. It's a real good movie. It only came out 3 years ago. It's real good. It should have made more money than it did. It was one of those sleeper movies. I truly enjoyed it. I think you guys will enjoy it too. One of my favorite horror movies in the last 10 years, I guess. I don't really watch a lot of horror movies because there's not a lot of good ones. But definitely watch The Black Phone. It's a kid cast, but the kids are real good at acting. Real good acting for the kids, I tell you the truth. That's gonna do it for my list of my favorite horror movies. Let me know some of the movies that you like, what you think of the list. I know there's so many movies out there. I went to Rotten Tomatoes and there was like a list of 200 favorite horror movies. A lot of them I like, but I didn't put them on the list because, like, I like Jason, but it's not one of the movies that I go to. I didn't like part 1. I like part 2 when actually Jason came out. Part 1 was more about his mother, but it was still good. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of Mike Myers, but I like the first Halloween. So stuff like that. I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I didn't want to put it on this list. So let me know what some of your favorite horror movies are. What do you think of my list? Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I truly appreciate you guys for giving me 10 minutes of your time. Hope you liked the video. Come back and watch the other videos. Have a good one. I'll get at y'all on the next one later.